This
Fine,
conference
so
will
let's
now be
start.
recorded.
Got it. Can you see my screen? Yes, sir, it's visible.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, fine. So we will discuss about the STO process. STO is stock transfer order. So there are different type of STO process. We have stock transfer. So do you have any idea what is this STO is all about? STO is stock transfer order, and you're transferring the stock or moving the stock from one plant to another plant. Okay, so it can be one location to another location as well. Even transfer the stock you can move, or you can transfer within the same premise of your company, or it is maybe away from your company, maybe it is in some different state, maybe in some different country. So there are different ways of stock transfer for the stock transfer process. Okay, so we have 5 steps. On that, 3 we can do it, and for rest of the 2, which I'm going to mention now. So for that, we need like the configuration from the sales end also. Okay, so let's see what are the different type of stock STO process we have. So one is plant to plant. So you are going to transfer the plant from one plant to another plant. So plant to plant, one step. So we call it as a one step STO process. Okay. Then second one is plant to plant, two step. Plant to plant, two step. And third one is stock transfer order, or STO. I think this is stock transfer order without SB and billing. Means without sales also we can post, or we can transfer the stock from one state to another state without SD and billing. So we have different scenarios here. And then another one is stock transfer order with SD and billing. So when I'm saying with SD and billing, so this is called basically intercompany transfer. And another one is stock transfer order with SD and billing, but this is for intra-company transfer. So last two are, we need the help of the SD consult, because a lot of settings we need to require from the SD side. So this is one of your integration from industry integration, which we are doing in STO process. Okay, so let's see one by one. So we'll talk on this part as well. So first we'll start with the first one, plant to plant one step. Now what is this plant to plant one step? So plant to plant one step means, so there should be some prerequisite before starting the STO process. So prerequisite is you should know first what are the different plant you have and how many plants. So first of all, if you have created only one plant, if suppose you are working for uh, only one, you're working for a client and they have only one plant, then this STO process doesn't work there. Okay, so minimum 2 plant is required whenever you are going for STO process. Okay, so we will be talking about the first step, plant to plant one step. So what is this plant to plant one step? So plant to plant one step means you are going to transfer the stock from one plant to another plant within the same premises. So suppose there is a plant, there is a like your company is there, and there itself you have 2 3 different plants within the same premises. So in that case, this plant to plant one step process works. So there we just issue the material from one plant and it will reach to the another plant wherever you are expecting. Okay, so that is your plant to plant one step. So here the prerequisite is you need to know what are your different plants. So minimum 2 plants is required. It has to be created and assigned to the company code in enterprise structure. If suppose you have created only one plant, then what you need to do, you create one more plant in enterprise structure and assign that to the company code. This is the first step you need to do if you have not assigned your plant to the company code. If suppose you have created only one plant, then create one more plant and assign that plant to the company code in the enterprise structure. That means 2 plant is minimum which we required for the stock transfer. Okay. Then maintain storage location for both the plants. So in one plant, you have the storage location. So you'll issue from one plant, and when it will reach to your destination plant. So here there are 2 plant concept: supplying plant and receiving plant. So one plant from where you are supplying the material, that is your supplying plant, and there will be a plant where you are receiving that material, that will be your receiving plant. Okay. So for supplying plant and the receiving plant, for both the plant, storage location should be maintained properly. Okay. It's not like that you have just defined the plant and you have assigned to the enterprise structure. No. After that, you need to maintain the storage location as well. Next, supplying plant to have a stock. So it is when you are supplying the material from one plant or you are transferring the material from one plant to another plant, you should have the stock. Okay. Without stock, you cannot transfer the stock. The next is material should be available in both the plant. That means if suppose you have created a material and that is in one plant. Now you have created one more plant. But for that plant, that material is not there. So now you're going to transfer the stock of a material to another plant. So now the material which is there with you in one plant, the same material should be there in your new plant, whatever you have created, or the existing plant. So in that case, what you need to do, you need to extend the material to that plant. Okay, so how to extend the material? If suppose you have a material in one plant, for example, let's take MM02, MM6. Let's check the material first. So it should be like this. If suppose I'll click on 77P1 and if I'll click on execute, now I can see that in this plant, these many materials are there. So all are, you can see 777. Now if I'll select a material, for example, I'll select a material. This is the STO material I have created, okay, for the stock transfer. So I'll go back. So I'll just enter this material and I'll just remove it. And if I'll execute. So if I'll execute, I can see that this material is there in S77P1 plant only, right? But I have to transfer the stock from one plant to another plant. To that plant, the same material should be extended. Okay, first of all, now let me check what is my other plant which I have created and assigned to the enterprise structure. Go to EC01, structure, navigation, continue. If you have not assigned, you can check from here. Okay, so I can see I have 2 more plants, 3 AMC and 77P3. So for example, now I will extend this material to 3 AMC plant. So this material I can see now it is available only with 77P1 plant. Okay, now how will I extend this material? So to extend this material, what you need to do, you need to get into MM01, go to MM01, then enter the material number, this material number. One 110-4, yeah. So before that, you need to check this when you have created this material, for which material you have create material type you have created. Okay, so you just select the same material type ZROE, or if you want to change, you can change that to ZROE. So this is what I have selected. Then the industry sector I have selected. Okay, then click on select views. So whatever views you want to extend, you select the views. Then click on organization label, and here you have to enter the plant, for which plant you are going to extend this material. So I am going to extend it to 3 AMC. So I'll enter 3 AMC. Okay, and for 3 AMC, in which storage location, if you have the storage location, you can check that, and storage location should be there. So suppose 100S or S001, whatever it is there, enter and continue. So you can see material already exists and will be extended. So now just enter, 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 and maintain the valuation class. And click on yes. So material is created. Now go back and now go and check the material, whether that material is available in both the plant or not. So I've just entered the material number, execute. Now you can see this same material is now in both the plant, in 3 AMC also and in 77P1 also. Clear? So this is how you need to extend if you have if that material is not there in both the plant. So material can be extended from one plant to another plant also. Okay, so now two plants to be created and assigned to the company code. So just let me make a note of that. What are my those two plants? So my two plants are 77P1 is one plant and 3MC is another plant. So now it is depend which one is your supplying plant and which one is your receiving plant. Okay, so if you are supplying from this plant, then so in this plant the stock should be available, and this is your receiving plant. So when you will receive it, that material should add to this plant. So first, whenever you are going to start your process, you have to check that in this 77P1 stock is available or not. Is it clear? Any question here?
No,
No
sir,
doubt?
all good.
Nothing? Okay, fine. Now, so how to do this? So now you understood these are the prerequisite plant. You need to check the plant, storage location, and the assignment with the company code. You need to check the storage location for both the plant. You need to check the supplying plant have the stock or not. So let's check. For example, S77P1 is our supplying plant. So let's check in 77P1 stock is there. So now to check the stock overview, we know we have to get into MMBE. And here you can see for not for this material in this plant. Yeah. So in this plant, what material we are going to issue, you have to check according to that. So if I'll transfer this material and execute. Yeah. So for this material, I can see in this plant, in this storage location, this is the stock which is available. Okay. Fine. So supplying in my supplying plant, stock is available. Now go back. Then maintain the material should be available in both the plant. This also we have checked. So now my prerequisite is ready to go with the first step, plant to plant one step. Okay, so for plant to plant one step, now what we need to do, get into MyGo. In ECC, the transaction code was different, but now in S4 HANA, we have to get into MyGo. MyGo. So go to MyGo, and now what are you doing? You are going to transfer the stock from one plant to another plant, and this is the first step which we are doing. So select transfer posting. Transfer posting, then here you have to select other, and now you need to maintain. So you need to check the movement type also. So what movement type we are using? 301. For plant to plant one step, we are using the movement type 301. So click on here and search for 301. So 301 is transfer posting plant to plant one step. Select, enter, then now enter the material for which material you want to transfer the stock. So I'll just copy this material. Okay, then here you can see now from and destination. Okay, so plant, from which plant you are going to transfer the stock. So enter the plant. So I want to transfer from this plant, and when you are okay, from this plant, from which storage location? So I want to move from this storage location. So I will move 60 quantity. Sorry, S001. So this is S001 only. Yes, fine. Then now in the destination, now in which plant you are going to transfer. So that plant you have to mention. So what is my another plant? So I have mentioned my another plant as 3AMC. So I'm going to transfer to 3AMC. So when I will transfer to 3AMC, it will be receiving in which plant? Sorry, in which storage location? S001. So I entered S001. 3, so it is showing, okay, it is just showing that, okay, these are the plant and the storage location. Fine. So now you can see we are going to transfer the stock from one plant to another plant with this material, for this material, and this is the plant and storage location I have mentioned here. So when I will post this, the material should reduce from this plant and it should add to 3AMC plant. 3AMC plant and in this storage location for the same material. So before receiving that, let's check the stock of this material in this plant. Open a session, go to MMBE, enter the material, then check in this plant and execute. So we can see in this, for this material, in this storage location, there is no stock. Okay, because now and we are transferring from this plant to this plant, and then in this storage location it should receive. Okay, now after this, now click on material tab. You can see your material which you are going to transfer, your material group, then how much quantity. So you want to issue 60 quantity. Okay, and then where you have mentioned, if you know any loading point and reason for movement or any text if you want to write, you can mention, otherwise nothing is required. Then scroll down and you can check. So it is showing 0 because just now we added the quantity. So if I'll enter and if we will check, you will be able to see this quantity now. So we are going to transfer this much of quantity. So item is okay. So now click on check. So because this is a month of August, July ended, so this posting only possible, this posting period issue is coming. So I hope now you understood how to resolve it. Go to MMPV, enter your company code, open for 7 2023. Right. Okay, before that let's go and check in OMSY. So in OMSY, click on position and check for your company. So 7 was open. Now we have to close the 7 and we have to open the 8. Go to MMPV. Seven fiscal year and execute. So it is closed. Now open the 8. Now come back, check now. So document is okay. So now we are going to transfer, click on post now. So now you can see this is the material document posted. So now whenever you are doing any any transaction or any type of document which you are posting after inventory management, make sure you always check the accounting entries. Okay, so whenever you are posting, so by doing that you will get to know for which movement type accounting entries are generating, for which movement type accounting entries are not generating. Okay, so here for the raw material, because we have transferred the raw material, right? So now get into the display mode and check this document type 338. Click on document info, F5 documents. So you can see the accounting entries are generating. So this much of amount of the inventory raw material, it is going to transfer from one plant to another plant. Okay, now go back and check the stock. So we have transferred the plant from one plant to another plant. Okay, so now we have transferred from 77P1 plant, right? From this storage location 60 quantity. So 60 should reduce from here and 60 should add to this storage to this plant, right? Check the same material, this material and 3 AMC. Execute. So now you can see at least it was earlier it was 0, now it is 60. So 60 has been received here. But if we'll check to this, now 60 is not reduced. So let me just refresh. So now it is 600. Okay, so 600 has been issued from 77P1 plant and it has been received in 3 AMC plant of S001 storage location. So this is called plant to plant one step process. Is it clear? Or any doubt?
Yes, it's clear.
So in this
Fine.
case, there would be no accounting entries, only the inventory
Yes. So
raw material.
inventory raw material posting it is showing. Okay, so this was about one plant to plant one step. So this will be used when your plant is within the same premises. Okay. Now when we are going for plant to plant two step, so in that case, your another plant means you are receiving. There will be two plants, right? Supplying plant and receiving plant. So when we are discussing about plant to plant, because the same prerequisite will be there. Yeah. So plant to plant two step. And plant to plant two step, same thing, same plant, same prerequisite. Only the difference here it will be on the movement type. Movement type here it will be 303. So 303 movement type will be used by the supplying plant. So supplying plant, from where you will supply, it will be used as 303. And receiving plant, whoever will receive the material, they will use 305 movement. So there are two different movement type here it will be used. Okay. That means this process will be used only if your plant is away from the main plant. So in one step we have seen your plant is, if you have 2-3 plant and that is within the same premises, then it is nearby 500 meter or 50 meter, you have different plant. So in that case you have transferred the stock. But now suppose your plant is away from the main plant, maybe somewhere around 5-6 kilometers distance. So in that case, we use plant to plant two-step process. Okay, so in this two-step process, we are using two movement type, because from one movement type it will be transferred, and then it will be in transit, then it will reach. So it is in distance, it is about after 4 and 5 kilometers. So maybe when you have supplied 10 quantity, but when they are, how much they are receiving, because there is a distance. So in between, if any material got damaged, they will not receive the damaged material, right? Though it is the same company, but if that is a damaged material, they cannot use that material. So they will say it is a damaged material. So that's the reason it is a different uh, plant, and that will be definitely with some distance. So that's the reason there we use this 305 movement type there. Okay, so in the first step, simply we have just posted it, and we have seen that from one plant it has been transferred, and in another plant it has been received. Okay, now let's see the second step. So prerequisite is same. We have the plant, we have the storage location, we have everything. So what we will do, we will just get into MyGo and we will post the document first from the supplying plant. So let the stock overview page open. And let's get into MyGo. Go to MyGo again. So what are we doing? Transfer posting. Select transfer posting. And then here, what you will select? 303. 303 transfer posting, plant to plant, removed from storage. Okay. Now see, the moment I entered this, it has been changed. Now select the material, what material you want to transfer. From which plant you want to transfer. Sorry, and which storage location. And on the right side, you cannot see any storage location field. Here you can see only the plant field. So in the destination, you can see only the destination, means you can see only the material, and here you need to maintain only the plant field. Okay, clear? So here you need to maintain the plant description, transfer posting. So enter the plant. So I know the plant, so I'll just enter 3AMC. Okay, so here it is, there is no option of maintaining the storage location. Simply now system is asking, with this movement type, you're transferring the stock from this this material you're going to transfer from this plant, from this storage location to this plant. Okay, so in destination you cannot see any storage location. Now how much quantity you want to transfer? Enter the stock quantity. I want to transfer 10 quantity, so enter 10. Okay, from where it is mentioned, again the same thing, if you have any details you can mention, otherwise just click on here. So we are transferring from plant from 77P1 plant. Now click on check and post. Okay, so we have posted. Again click on this, display, enter document info. So this is showing about your inventory value for the raw material accounting. Okay, now go back and check the stock. So what did we see? That we have transferred the stock of this material from this plant, right? So now, okay, in spite of looking into two different, okay, let's see here now, otherwise we'll not be able to compare. So we'll come back again and I'll show you that process. Fine. So now we can see that this material from this plant, from this storage location, we have issued 10 plants, 10 quantities. So 10 should reduce from here definitely. So click on refresh. So it is 590 now. Now go back to this storage location and still it is showing 60, right? So if I'll refresh, what will happen? Still it is 60 because this plant is away from the main plant, right? So now if I double click on this 3MC, I can see here it should be stock in transit. It will be showing as 10 quantity. So in second plant, we can see that it is in transit. It is not yet reached. Okay. So what is the process now? The next process is now go and receive it with the movement type 305. Now go to my go, do the goods receipt for that material. And here you need to select 305. Sorry, you have to use 30 transfer posting itself. My go transfer posting, and here you have to select 305. So in 305, now you can see only the destination option is coming when I have selected 305. Now select the material. This material you are receiving from which plant? Sorry, you have to enter the destination plant 3MC. In which storage location? This is storage location. Okay. Then click on check. So it is saying quantity and delivery complete because we have not added the quantity. Click on quantity and add the quantity. So this is how now from 303 they are saying that they have issued 10 quantity and 10 quantities in transit. So now when you are receiving in your receiving plant, then you need to make sure how much quantity exactly you are receiving. They might have issued 10 quantity, but in between something happened and you are receiving only 5 quantity. Then you will enter that 5 quantity only, because this plant is away from your main plant. So you don't know exactly how much they have issued. They will say that we have issued 10 plants, 10 quantity. So that is how whatever you are receiving, you need to mention that. So you are receiving in this plant now. Click on check and post. It is posted. Now again go display, enter. So when you are using this 305 movement types, there won't be no subsequent accounting. Remember this is again one of the movement type where there is no accounting entries. Now go and check the stock. So if I'll refresh, so 10 quantities should add on this now. It is 70. Now if we'll double click on this, now the in transit it was showing 10 quantity, right? So it will remove after some time because it is added here. Okay, so this is about your two-step process. Any doubt, any confusion? So these are very simple steps where you are just transferring the stock from one plant to another plant. Now it is depend in which scenario you are working, whether it is, so it will completely depend on your client. If suppose your client does not have any plant which is away from the main plant in the same city with 2 kilometers or 4 kilometers of distance, then we are not using plant to plant two step. If all the plants are there in the same premises, then you are using only one step process. Simply transfer the plant from one plant to another plant. Okay. There is another process that is about the third step. Third step is when we are trying to transfer the stock from one plant to another plant without SD and billing. So without sales also we can transfer the stock. So this is one of the process. And for this two process, we need completely sales setting. So till here, till the third one, we can transfer the stock from route. Okay, so through the route, when we are going to transfer the stock, again the same prerequisite, we need to just check. So in this case, now you need to create a purchase order. Because stock transfer order without SD and billing, it is used basically when you're transferring the stock from one state to another state, mostly. Okay, because it will be in transit, lot of document is required, right? People, the police people can ask, if anybody will ask, they have to show the proof, though it is the same company, but they need to show the proof. Okay, so that is a stock transfer order without SD and billing. So it is without SD and billing. So here also we need the same process. Only the thing is, here you need to create a purchase order. Stock transfer without SD and billing. Okay. So here also you need the same prerequisite that as we had here. So two plants to be created and assigned to the company code in the enterprise structure, then maintain the storage location, then supplying plant should have the stock, and material should be extended to both the plants. The same prerequisite. Additionally, now you need to create a purchase order and you have to receive it in some other movement. Fine. Now, so what you need to do now, let's write the steps. The step is here now you need to create a purchase order with document type. So there is a separate document we have for stock transfer order for STO, that is UB. Create a PO with document type UB. So UB is a document type which we use for stock transfer order. And item category at, this is important, and where are you using at the receiving plant. Whoever required the plant, suppose there are two plant, right? Supplying plant and receiving plant. So whoever required the plant, whoever required the material, they will create the purchase order. Okay, so the receiving plant will create the purchase order. This is the first step. Second step is now we will issue the material with reference to purchase order, with reference to the PO basically. With reference to PO from which plant? From the supplying plant. And here we use the movement type is 351. The third step will be your goods receipt receiving plant. So these are the steps we need to do. So till here, these are the same prerequisite, and the steps now we need to just change. So we need to create a purchase order. So let's create a purchase order. So now when we will create a purchase order, use the same transaction code, go to ME21 and here the standard document type is UB for stock transfer order. If you want to customize and if you want to create it, you can create the same way as we have done for NB. So select, now see the moment I have selected UB, here it is asking for supplying plant, right? The standard PO when we create and we select for NB, it is asking for the supplier, right? But when you are selecting for UB, it is asking for supplying plant. So what is your supplying plant? From which plant you are going to supply the material? So enter that plant. So I want to transfer, I want to supply from 77P1. Okay. Then enter your purchase organization, purchasing group. What material you are going to supply? Okay, now let me get back to this because this material is available in both the plant. So I'll just execute it. Okay. So this transfer, this you can see this document type is UB now, and item category should be U. So you can see it is in gray mode. So by default, it will pick automatically. Don't worry. Okay. So I have entered the material and how much quantity I want to transfer. And so here you have two plant. One is supplying plant, and here it is receiving plant. So receiving plant is going to create the PO. Okay, remember this. In which storage location? So receiving plant is 3 AMC. They require the material. Supplying plant. So they will enter that. Okay. So once it is done, so then now click on save. So you have just created the PO. Now just get into the display mode of this PO. So you can see the item category has picked here automatically. Okay. So this is the first step of the third step of STO process where we have created the purchase order. So once we have created the purchase order, next is now we need to issue it with reference to the purchase order. Second step is, we can see the second step, issue the material with reference to PO from the supplying plant. And here we need to use the movement type 351. So now go back and go to my go. So you will do goods issue with reference to PO and see by default 351 transfer stock in transit, movement type pick. Press enter. So purchase order number has been reflected. Now select the item whatever you want to issue. Check. Okay, it is asking the storage location. So enter the storage location of your supplying plant. Check and post. Okay, so that is how it is done. So now you have issued. So this much of quantity has been issued from which plant? From 77P1, right? 77P1 from S001, it is now 590. If I refresh, it is 580 now. Okay. Now this material should reach to this plant, right? So in this plant, now we have not received it. So now next step is receiving at the next step is goods received at the receiving plant. This is what the last step we have. So we have used this 351 movement type and we have issued. Now we will receive it. So goods received at the receiving plant. So my go. Okay. So now we will we will do the goods receipt with reference to the same purchase order. Enter the PO number. Click on item OK. Check and post. And now if you'll check the stock, it should be added in this 3 AMC S001. It is 70. Now it is 80. Okay, so the difference between these three which we have discussed today is plant to plant, one step, two step, and then the without SD and billing. So difference Did you get the difference now? Did you understand what is the difference between 1, 2, and 3 now? Can you explain?
Yes.
So what is the first step? One step.
Um, in one step, as soon as the material gets removed from plant one, it gets added to the plant two. When it is the scenario where the plants are very near within the
And it is
premises.
this within the premises, yes. Second step.
A second step when is quite a far away, where
Hmm.
transportation takes time
Yeah,
to a limited time. Yeah, and one side we need to remove the stock, and from another end of the plant we need to add the stock.
correct.
So it's a two-step process.
Yeah. And the third one.
And third one is done when the travel time or takes a lot of time. For example, between the states where
Yes.
the documents are required. Um,
Hmm.
these state exemption taxes and all. So
Correct.
that
So in that
scenario,
case,
documents are created, billing documents are created.
right. So in that case, this is stock transfer order without SDN billing is required. So this is what we have done from our route. Okay. From SD route, so this is our sorry, and SD integration, where our STO process with SD and billing for intercompany transfer or intra-company transfer. Okay. So for here, most of the settings are from the sales side, but I'll show you how can we do it. Though we don't have any sales consultant here, but in the project, in the real time, we will not do anything else. We will not configure anything related to the sales part. It will be done by the sales consultant only. So here they will have sales area divisions. So they will have a lot of settings from the sales side. Then that sales has to be assigned to the company code. Then we will see that our enterprise structure, in our enterprise structure, our that sales part also will be adding on that. So if you get it, we'll see 01. So now you can say structure, navigation, continue. So here you can see this is what the assignment I have done. So it is showing. So it will be showing like this 77 as one new sales organization has been created. And then this sales organization will be assigned to the plant, to the company code, to the purchase organizations. Okay, so we will create one more new sales organization. Like we have purchase organization, they will have the sales organization. So we will create and we will check. Okay, but that will be completely through the SD route, and they will be taking care of it. So it is kind of, you can say this is the integration with and SD here. Okay, fine. Let's connect tomorrow at the same time. Hope you don't have any other question. And just check the enterprise structure, whatever if we have discussed, and check with your controlling area and your company code. That should be same. Otherwise, you will be getting an issue while posting. Especially, it will not allow you to create the cost center.
Okay, sure, sir.
Okay, fine. Any other questions?
No from my
No
side.
problem.
Okay, fine then. Let's connect tomorrow. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice day, Boo.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Thank you. Bye bye.